Hello, I'm Tim Davis from the Basic Joomla channel and Cybersol Consulting. And in this video, I'm going to show you one of my favorite Joomla extensions called Stageit. Stageit is a Joomla extension that will allow you to make a copy of your Joomla site where you can test things, try things out without risk of wrecking your live site. So let's turn our attention to the screen here and check it out. Stageit is available from phpwebdesign.com. This is also a company that I do the support for, so I know this extension very well. And if you have any questions about it, I'm the guy that you can ask. All right, I've already downloaded it, so let's go to my company site here, cybersalt.com, where we'll do a demonstration and some testing. And I'm logged into the back end of the site here, so let's install Stageit. We'll go to System, Install Extensions. As I said, I've already downloaded it, so we will drag this down to upload it. And now we are going to turn on a plugin, which is optional for working with Stageit. If we go to System, Plugins, and then we filter for Stageit, you will see that there is a Stageit plugin. And basically, once we enable this, later on when we have a staging copy, we will have a little bar at the top of the site that tells us whether or not we're working in the live site or we are working in the Stageit site or in the copy of our live site. Now let's check out Stageit. Go Components, past all these extensions that I have. We'll click on Stageit, and here we'll see a number of options that we can go to. We're at the welcome screen here. Here we can go to configuration. Basically, Stageit performs as it's going to perform based upon the quality of your web hosting account. And so when you first run Stageit, if you find things timing out or find that there are issues, then encourage you to just go and change the deployment speed. So right now I have this set for ultra fast dedicated server because I have a server that my sites are hosted on, my clients are hosted on. To use acceleration, yes or no. Run initial checks, yes or no. To skip the checks. Backup before the sync. Okay, so you can disable backups or you can enable a backup. And force a refresh. Now, force a refresh, you can rebuild all files and data tables or just do the normal sync process. You also see the information buttons here that you can click on to see more information, and that will serve you well as you are running Stageit the first couple of times to find out what works best on your web hosting. In here, we can click Data Tables. That's an option that we'll see on the staging copy of the site, same as Files and Folders. And in Environment here, you can see whether you're going to see that switch, that plugin we enabled, whether you see it on the front end or the back end. And of course, it's only going to be visible to you as an administrator, or you can turn it off. But we'll see that at work in a second. So let's go back to the welcome page here, and we will click on Begin. Now, while this staging copy of my website is being made, let me tell you what's happening. All of the files of my Joomla site are being copied into a folder called Stageit inside the root folder of my Joomla site. So I have the whole live site, but then there's that one folder, Stageit, that has all the files being copied into it. Also, all of the tables of my website are being copied with a prefix at the beginning of them of stg_. So it's the same database as my live site, but the tables are all different. That way, any changes that I make to the files or to the database are in the copy of the site, not to the live site. And so this is going to give me a place where I can maybe do some template changes, test some CSS changes, update some extensions to newer versions, add new extensions, all sorts of things to see how well those are going to work with my live site. And if I run into anything that's a problem, no problem, because I can always have the live site and go back and make a new staging copy and try something else. All right, so you see the copy has been made. Now I'm just going to click on Login. That's going to take me to the Stageit copy of my site. Now, first of all, let me go up to here and put this in light mode. Notice now we have this orange bar up here. That's the plugin that we enabled. And we have the option to switch back to the live site here if we want. But this is a reminder to me that now what I'm working in here is the staging copy of the site. And you will notice up here in the URL for the site that it's now cybersalt.com/stageit/administrator. So that's another indicator that we're working on the copy of the site. And that's all that you need to do to make a copy. So why don't we just change something that will be easy for me to look at later on? Why don't we go to System and Global Configuration. Now let's see, site name, CyberSalt Consulting Limited. I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 exclamation marks there. That's the only thing that I will change because I am working on the live site of my company that I'm going to be pushing these changes to. I'm going to go save, and that save is in there, and that is good. Now I'll close. Now, if I was making other changes to the copy of the site, of course, I could preview it and see how those things look and do my work for changing. We have these little things here because I'm logged into the front end here because of the settings of my Joomla site. But you'll notice up here, cybersalt.com/Stageit. So I am not doing anything. And of course, you can see here, we have switch to live. We have this orange bar here, which is an indicator to me that I'm working in the staging site. So let's say I've done all the changes that I want to make. Now I can go into the admin area of the Stageit site, go to components, and we can go down to Stageit, and you will see that we have some new options. First of all, there's this button, Sync with Live. Now, here's something very important to understand. As soon as you make a staging copy of your Joomla site, if anything changes on your live site, with the default settings, Stageit, if you sync with live, will replace everything in your live site. We'll see some advanced settings soon that will allow you to customize what gets overwritten and what doesn't get overwritten. But just know that if you have a live site that is actively changing, or you make a copy of your live site and you're working in Stageit for a couple of days and things change on your live site, if you sync with live, then you will basically reset the content of your site using the default settings back to the time when you made the copy of the site. Now, if that doesn't work for you, Stageit still is a great tool because you can make a copy of the site, work on the changes that you're doing, and if everything works out the way that you want, just keep notes of what you've done, and then you can go back, put your live site in offline mode for a little bit, repeat those steps, and you know that things are going to work fine. Now, about that advanced option, you will find that here in configuration. Remember when we were looking in the live site, these two areas here, data tables and files and folders, there was nothing there. Here in the Stageit site, we can say, hey, when we sync to live, I want to exclude the user table, scroll down here, from being updated. So let's say your live site, you had 5 people create accounts on your website. And so they have a user profile. You've been working on Stageit. You don't want to wipe out the user for a table or those new users. So you don't update the user table. Now, using this tool and also the similar tool where you can choose which folders will be synced to live and which ones will not, that requires a very firm understanding of the extensions and the things that you have changed on the Stageit site. So if you've been working in an extension that has a number of tables and links in a certain way to users or other things, you want to be very careful if you're excluding any of those folders. So we'll go back to welcome here. And now we're ready to sync the Stageit copy with the live site, to overwrite the live site. But before we do that, remember, back in our configuration settings, we saw that there was backup before sync. If I want to back up my live site before I push to the Stageit copy over it, I can select this to yes. And along with the process of pushing the site to live, a backup will be made and stored in a folder in the root of your Joomla site called Stageit Backups. But for speed and time, I'm going to skip that step. And so we will just go back to a welcome and we will go to sync with live. And now Stageit is going to begin the process of gathering all the information that's needed to copy and override the live site.
A few moments later.
And as that process finishes up, we can now click login to go to our live site. We notice up at the top bar, we're green, shows that we're in a live environment. Our URL here does not have Stageit in it. And of course, we only made one change in this demonstration. That was in global configuration. When I click here, and remember we're in the live site, there's all the exclamation marks that I added in the Stageit site. Now I'll just take those out for now. And of course, we can always go up here and we can check and we can test, and the site is working. Stageit saves me a ton of time making copies of Joomla sites that I am working on so that I can experiment and test without danger of wrecking the live sites, and then easily take those changes if I like them and either push them live or repeat them according to the notes that I've taken on the live site that I'm going to change. Subscribe for more videos. Until the next time, enjoy your Joomla sites and God bless.